Hi everyone, welcome back to Box of Delights and welcome to this demonstration of Halls of Hegra. Halls of Hegra is a solo game designed by Petter Shankar Olsen, published by Tompit Games. I've shown you a Tompit Games title before, that was Donning the Purple, which was a 1 to 3 player game, so they're sticking to their support for the soloist here. This is purely a solo game. And thanks to Tompit Games, they've actually sent this to me as a gift. So it's with pleasure that I'm showing this to you today. And it's a real delight and a proper story-driven solo war game. It's not what you traditionally think of as a war game. It's got worker placement, bag building, area control, tower defense. So it kind of feels like a tower defense type solo game. And it's telling the story of the Battle of Hegra Fortress, Hegra Festning, which is kind of halfway along the east-west road from the city of Trondheim in central Norway over to the west in the Trondheim Fjord and the Swedish border over to the east. Okay, so that east to west road, where in 1940 there was a 25-day engagement with German forces. I think it was 6 Norwegian soldiers died, 14 casualties in the first 2 days of fighting, but it was a 25-day siege, effectively, which ended in the surrender of the Norwegian forces, who were holed up in the subterranean halls of Hegra. Have a quick look at the contents. The component quality is wonderful. It's an event-driven game, let's say a story kind of game, and it has a wonderfully illustrated map. There's going to be lots of worker placement, lots of stuff going on in terms of how you manage your forces, the resources and the activities that they're undertaking through this multi-phase siege. The fortress is down here, and this is the arena on which the game is played out. We're in central Norway. The weather is going to play a significant part. You'll notice that it's a heavily wooded area. If you look at it in Google Maps today, you'll see the remains of the fortress are in a massive forest with this mountain fort in the middle. There are about 250 Norwegian defenders. We're going to manage those defenders. And as I say, in the real battle, they laid down their arms and surrendered after news reached that other Norwegian forces in southern Norway were surrendering to the Germans. To the north is a river, the river Stjordalselva. You'll see there are various river crossings. These are routes up through the map. Here's the village of Hegra here, through which is running a strategically significant railway line. And up here we actually have the airport at Trondheim. So the map's making this look a lot closer than it is perhaps, but it's far off to the west, really. Our role in the game is to, like I say, manage the Norwegian forces. We're going to mobilise our troops, gather supplies, prepare ourselves for the upcoming siege that's going to take place. Our aim is to survive with enough healthy defenders. And there's a time tracker here along the bottom, from starting here and finishing here at the last stand. If we survive, we become victorious. The game is lost along the way. At the end of each turn, we'll be checking the morale of our forces, which will be affected by the game states, and then we'll be drawing a morale card, good or bad, and then finally we do this surrender check. If the surrender check reaches this skull and crossbones, then we lose. Okay, we've not managed to withstand the siege. Okay, that's the game. There's lots of layers to this, but this board is nicely laid out. It looks complicated, but everything's numbered. Okay, there's different sections here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you just move around the map, resolving each section as you go along. Now there is a mobilization board that sits on the top of here, and it switches to the attack board, so you flip it over at a different stage of the game. All right, and then it's removed and reveals this section here at the end. So we place it here as a little overlay. So the various actions that are available to us, everything with the Norwegian flag is like an action selection spot or a worker placement spot. Okay, this will change as we move through the game and ultimately make it to the siege phase of the game. Okay. All right, but we'll learn all about this stuff as we play. I want to get stuck in and start telling this story. Now, setup is quite a lengthy process. I'm going to do this now. And there we go, we're ready to go. We're going to cover what all these different bits are as we get into the game. Okay, for now, just know that we're starting here on turn 1 during the mobilization stage of the game. Okay. Now, there are some optional rules. I'll cover those quickly now. First off is missions. There's a set of 4 random missions. You can choose, if you wish, to select one of these missions. This is an objective that you can complete during the game. This one says no German artillery on the map. And if you manage to complete that mission, you'll get a reward. However, if you do include it and you fail to complete the mission by the end of turn 10, then you'll start turn 11 with 3 less morale. And low morale means more penalties and you're more likely to surrender. Okay, so look out for that. Rewards help you survive the siege even longer. Okay. What's interesting, keep this in mind because it sounds a little counterintuitive, but the closer to turn 10 you are, the better. And it's up to you when you choose to resolve it. So if I could have completed this on turn 1, but obviously if I wait till turn 8 and I've resolved it, I can either resolve it now, and this says gain a supply as it goes, or I can wait, continue to keep the mission fulfilled, turn 9, get the additional reward, turn 10, get the additional reward, and this one says move surrender marker down 1 spot, and you get all the previous rewards as well. All right, but if you hit, like I say, if you hit 10, 11 and it hasn't been resolved, lose 3 morale. Okay, but having the morale move further away from unconditional surrender is a good thing. All right, it starts here at honourable surrender in the middle. Okay, so we can push this thing down, we're more likely to survive and win the game. All right. There's also optionally some difficulty adjustments. You can make the game a little harder, you can make the game a little easier. In the easier game, there's a coup here. When you move to the first attack stage, you just delay this by a turn, and you delay the siege by a turn. So mobilization moves to here, first attack moves to here, and then you've got the siege during this final stage here. There's some tokens here you can use to adjust these things. All right, so you can move the coup stage up, you can move the retreat stage up, or indeed if you want to make the game harder, you can move them down. All right, so you can shuffle this. In fact, there's no reason why you shouldn't just customize it how you want, but there you go. That's the recommendations. Harder, easier, standard. Okay. All right, there you go. We won't be needing those. We're going to play on the standard difficulty. There's also some event cards. These are event decks. Some of these cards are advanced. You can take them out for the standard game, put the advanced effects in for an advanced game. The rulebook does recommend taking those cards out if this is your first game. I'm going to leave them in just to show you what it's all about. All right? Okay, cool. You ready? I'm ready. Let's go.